Hey, I'm Anthony Valadez, host of GP360, a Grand Performances podcast, where together we'll explore the past, the present, and the future of free public access to the performing arts at California Plaza on Grand Avenue. And if you can believe it, it's been a home for nearly 4 decades. In the spirit of inspiring community, celebrating diversity, and uniting Los Angeles, we'll sit down with community members and creatives who have graced the California Plaza stage to reflect on past performances and upcoming shows. Be sure to visit grandperformances.org to learn more about Grand Performances, upcoming lineups, and to celebrate 40 years of free music, artistry, and connection beneath the LA skyline. So, a little bit of context. 1 year ago, I got a call from Grand Performances about coming down and capturing the magic known as Care Camp. And you might hear on this podcast it referred as Camp Care. It was so in the moment, and it was about the community coming together at the last minute to provide support, to provide solace, to provide entertainment to the youth, to the kids. And this is what we recorded on that day. Now, when we think of Grand Performances, we think of live events, free events to the community, educational programs and whatnot housed in the center of downtown Los Angeles. But this time, I managed to catch up with the fine folks of GP to find out what they were up to last week as a part of Care Camp, which was presented by the County of Los Angeles Department of Parks and Recreation. Now, when I arrived, there was just so much happening right before my eyes. There was food being provided to the kids, including breakfast, lunch, and snacks for all youth. There were backpacks, as well as new clothes being provided, swag, books, markers. There was programming, live music, DJs, and just a lot happening. And based off the energy at Care Camp, it would have never crossed your mind that firefighters were hard at work miles away battling the Eaton Fire.
Because we know that music is medicine and it's healing and it's what makes us happy. So thank you all for being here with us today. And all this is based on love.
That was Rafael Gonzalez, the president and CEO of Grand Performances. And here's another one of my favorite moments from that day.
Is there Starbucks for free?
Starbucks is free, right? It's a gift. And lots of food. Make sure you go out there and lots of food. So everybody, welcome.
I continued exploring the grounds of Care Camp, talking to folks who were on the front lines of helping others, somebody who was directly impacted by the Eaton fires, a board member, and a marketing manager over at Grand Performances. And I was just so moved by the beauty and the eloquence of the human spirit. But the question that crossed my mind is, what is the future of Grand Performances and its role to the community moving forward?
My name is Cameron Brown. I'm a physical therapist and I teach in a graduate school for physical therapy students. Today is the end of the first week of Care Camp, so they've hosted a big party, concert going on. My son just got back from the Dodger Stadium field trip that we didn't even know he would be able to do. And so today I think is when all the parks are coming together to sort of gather all the kids and have an end of the week party.
I wanted to know firsthand how her son is being impacted by the fires.
My son is enrolled in Pasadena Unified. I know a lot of his classmates and folks from that district are here, but I think it's much, much bigger than that. So actually seeing today all the parks and all the kids is you realize how many people are needing this help and are benefiting from it. He is like having a blast. He's like, great, it's like summer during the middle of the year. I think he's most appreciative to be with his friends. So thankfully a few other kiddos from his school were able to come join the same camp. He was thrilled coming home the first day saying, I got to golf and, things that he doesn't normally get to do. So he's very, very happy when he comes home every day, which makes us, it's a big sigh of relief for us. Giving him some type of a routine, normal friends gives us the space to deal with all the way less fun adult logistics of the moment. So it's just been huge that it's one piece of the puzzle we don't have to worry about. Is he is taken care of, he is loved. Now we can kind of breathe a sigh of relief and go take care of what we need to take care of.
What I found interesting while listening to Cameron Brown is her mindfulness and her presence. while still digesting the effects of the Eaton fires.
Our housing situation is, I guess, slightly unique. We live in Altadena. We've been there since 2016. My family has lived there since the 60s. My grandparents first moved up in 65. They bought the house we live in 73. So we have a lot of history. I grew up there. We are right in the midst of the burn scar. The fire ran clear over our house, but somehow it is still standing. So we are simultaneously incredibly grateful that we still have a home standing, but it's standing among nothing. Our neighborhood is gone, our park is gone, our friends are gone, the grocery store, our pharmacy, so we have a house, but we absolutely are mourning the loss of a home.
Cameron recently got to visit her community.
We have seen it, and we've seen the neighborhood, and it is tough to see. I mean, it looks like a apocalypse, there's just nothing. And the hardest part is seeing, even if you don't know everybody's names, you're like, oh, that's, I know the dog that lived there. I know the couple that was here, and we chatted with them that one day. And so it is, I can see for blocks and blocks, which I shouldn't be able to. You see a road that never should have been visible from your house because everything is just leveled. It's chimneys, really. That's all that's left standing.
My name's Alan Jimenez. I'm a lifeguard for LA County. What I've been doing is just taking care of the kids, making sure they're well fed, they're taken care of, everything of that sort. I've done like volunteer events, but nothing like this before. This is pretty new to me. Like, we generally don't do this often, but I really enjoy doing this.
Interesting fact, but the LA County Lifeguards is a division of the LA County Fire Department. And I wanted to ask Alan, the lifeguard, what it felt like as a human being helping others.
Honestly, I know I'm here for a good cause. So, I wake up every day knowing that I'm helping the kids that need assistance, and, whether it's the clothing that we're handing out, like today we went to the Dodger Stadium. That was really cool, organizing them in groups, making sure everyone's having fun. I think it's really cool, honestly.
What caught my attention is how Alan talks directly with the kids and some of the things that he's heard firsthand.
Here and there they'll talk about it, and it kind of saddens me. Like some of the kids saying their house is burned down, and like all their stuffed animals, their toys and stuff. They lost all their toys, their clothes. Some of the kids wearing sandals, and no socks, losing it to the fire. That's also pretty sad to me. I'm here for the kids, and that's all that really matters. I come knowing that I'm gonna make a difference, so I hope I do.
It's interesting how when we think of lifeguards, we think of public pools and beaches. But in the situation of Alan Jimenez and countless other volunteers, whether it be from the fire department, the lifeguards, or grant performances, or the Dodgers, there's a time to pivot and help others. And that's what the spirit of Los Angeles is all about. And before I let Alan go, I wanted him to paint the picture for you on exactly what is happening at Camp Care.
Lots of fun. I mean, there's a concert going on right now. There's clothes handing out. There's food, snacks. There's waters for the kids to stay hydrated right now. There's jumpers. There's lots of cool stuff to do.
In addition to the cool stuff to do, there's also the power of a simple donation. Something as simple as a backpack.
Even all the people who've donated even something small like a backpack, I didn't realize how much I needed something as simple as a backpack. But having all those donations here, the libraries, we saw our local librarian and I almost burst into tears again, but the Altadena public libraries are here. The Natural History Museum for letting the kids just go out and have fun that day. And even I saw La Brea Tar Pits brought their mobile van here for the kids too. So I'm sure there's other partners that are here and helping that I'm not even aware of, but those folks in particular have just within a day said, come take what you need. We're here for you. And that is so, so helpful and heartwarming, and gratitude doesn't begin to wrap, the concept up, but it is something that I think many of us, even if we don't have the words to express it or the mental capacity to share that, we feel it wholeheartedly inside of us.
That was Cameron Brown, parent of an attendee at Camp Care. We're going to switch gears and talk to a local business person, also a board member of Grand Performances, Laura Glover, as we revisit that question. What is Grand Performances' role moving forward outside of live music and educational resources for the public in downtown LA? What does that look like?
Today I'm here just seeing what GP needs, but they've set up a stage and the sound so that they can bring a concert to the children and families that have been displaced by the Eaton Fire.
Laura Glover is also a resident of Pasadena.
We're just seeing a lot of people that are going through it emotionally right now. It's just a really heavy time. So I wanted to come out today and just see how I can help and even get more involved. You know, it's heavy. I'm trying to just, you know, do what I would normally do with my business and keep going, but also we're doing what we can. I mean, I think GP was perfectly set up to react in a time like this. Since last year and under the leadership of Rafa, one of the sayings internally was like, how do we take the show on the road? How do we go out of California Plaza and get to other places in the neighborhood? And that has happened, but I think because that groundwork was laid, they were able to react so quickly and be here, you know, with a week's notice to put on an amazing concert for people. So GP is well set up to do anything like this throughout the year as it's needed.
Laura Glover brings up a great point, how institutions like the Dodger Foundation or the Natural History Museum or the lifeguards, our GP need to pivot and adapt. We saw a lot of that during COVID. But is this new ground for grand performances?
This feels new for us, but I feel like the mission has always been to be here for Angelinos in whatever way they need it. You know, like you mentioned with COVID, it was like, we'll get music to you however that may be, or performances, poetry, classical music. So I don't know, I think that they can provide a really nice, safe space for people to come visit or tune in and listen and just help out wherever needed.
I'm Roger Zhao. I'm with Grand Performances, and in regular times I would work on the development program, membership and donors for GP.
If Los Angeles was a human being, no doubt it would be Roger. As I'm talking to Roger, I can see him firsthand digesting everything happening in real time in his brain. You hear it in his voice.
To GP's credit, I think we've pivoted very quickly to help the community. You know, I think in a typical January around this time of year, we're strategizing on, you know, donor relationships and fundraisers and things like that. And obviously that messaging is not nearly as important as like just getting out there, helping the community and kind of leveraging what we do and the artist relationships that we have to try to bring a little bit of joy and reprieve to the community. We've preferred to work with the wonderful band Las Cafeteras. When I say hire, I mean we got them to come out and perform, and they graciously did it for no money at all. Like, they just wanted to help the community as well. So.
That was Las Cafeteras with Cumbia de Mi Barrio, who totally rocked Camp Care with such passion, with call and responses, and the kids loved it. But I wanted to continue the conversation with Roger in terms of how institutions in Los Angeles, specifically grand performances, adapts to situations when a city's in crisis.
I know that during COVID, which was a little bit of a different situation, right? I mean, unfortunately, LA has had multiple crises. America has had a rough patch in the past couple of years. We pivoted during COVID, I know, and this predates me joining the company, but I know that in order to kind of address how people wanted music and they wanted a social experience around music but couldn't meet in mass in person, we were doing a lot of digital content. We were getting really great deep dives with our artists, you know, filming them doing really intimate shows like in their living room, and then, you know, putting that on our YouTube and things like that. And I know when things did kind of open up a little bit more, a lot of artists weren't quite prepared to do like a full tour with their live band, you know, but a lot of DJs were ready to roll immediately. So I know that, you know, in 2021, we were bringing out a lot of the great party promo crews and DJ crews and things like that to really bring back LA and open up the space again. You know, right now it's a little bit different where, you know, a lot of people lost their homes. You know, the air quality is really terrible, but we do have the luxury right now to at least do a concert. So that's why we're here in the park and trying to bring in all the different impacted families and, you know, have really meaningful donations waiting for them too.
Okay, wait, let's rewind. So here's a day in the life at Care Camp.
So we're at the LA Arboretum, which in regular times would be like kind of a wonderful nature refuge, right? You've got different gardens, you've got a pond, you've got really just impeccably manicured landscaping, and you even have wild peacocks that are kind of just roaming around. The LA County Parks and Recs, that department, they recognize like, hey, in Altadena, like, you know, literally 4 elementary schools like burned down, right? So you've got hundreds of kids who all of a sudden are, you know, they're traumatized and they're missing their friends, and, you know, their parents are running around just trying to figure out their finances and, you know, where they're going to live next. And, you know, they really stepped up and provided sanctuary. You know, when the families come in, they were able to go to Dodger Stadium, and Dodger Stadium had lots of really great donations waiting for them. Then they were taking buses to here, where their kind of pop-up school education program is, and we had even more donations waiting for them. So they were able to get a hot meal. We have food trucks here. We've got clothing. We've got school supplies. We've got all that wonderful stuff. And then on top of that, they can migrate over to the lawn and enjoy a really great show from Las Cafeteras.
As you can hear in Roger's voice, he's deeply emotionally invested into what's happening at Camp Care. And I wanted to ask him, as an Angelino, what does this mean to you personally?
Incredibly inspiring. And, you know, like, sometimes I just like sit down and like literally cry, and it's a mix of survivor's guilt and tears of joy and pride, because, like, you know, for anybody who's been really kind of like fighting this fight, you know, for the unhoused crisis, you know, sometimes we can feel very isolated. Like, we've been doing this, shouting into the void, like, hey, we need more help, we need to band together. We can solve homelessness. We just need to all get together and do it, and have the will and the unity to do it. And now, because of this fire, like, I mean, it's awful. And, you know, I would never wish this on any other country, any other city. But the fact that LA was able to come together and organize and bring out the best in everybody, I think a lot of people are being pleasantly surprised at the will and the character and the sense of community that we have in LA. As you know, like, you know, LA, you know, like, people have an impression of LA because of, you know, Hollywood and the movies and, reality TV. And, you know, we can come across as a little shallow or a little overly ambitious and self-centered and all that. And none of that is true. Like, people's real character has shown in this moment. And it's part of why I'm crying too, because it's just a really beautiful moment.
One of the terms that I kept hearing at Camp Care was the term survivor's guilt by many of the adults, and Roger shared a story with us.
Oh, man. Well, on the Thursday, right, like 2 days after the big firestorm, I was volunteering down at the Pasadena Convention Center, right, and I was helping load in donations from their loading dock, and, you know, I got to, you know, meet and talk to a lot of the fire victims who were literally coming in every hour on the hour. And one woman I remember, I just happened to be sitting beside her. I wasn't really engaged with her. I saw her come in and reunite with a couple friends that she was, waiting for. And she just had tears streaming down her face, and she was crying and crying. And, you know, I didn't want to, like, necessarily talk to her or whatever. I was just kind of off on the corner a little bit, observing what was going on. And she was crying and crying and crying and just breaking down. And I just assumed from that, I'm like, oh, clearly she must have lost her house or something like that, you know? But when I overheard her talking to, you know, her friends or her family, she was like, I just came back from Altadena. My house is the only house standing on my block. All my neighbors are gone. All their stuff is burned to the crisp. And she was basically like, I don't understand why I'm so lucky, and, like, I don't feel like I deserve it, and I wish I could do anything to build back my neighbor's stuff. Like, it should have been me, like, what, you know. And it's like, it's just crazy, because, like, you see those tears and you're like, oh, you know, this is coming from personal loss, but it was actually coming from the empathy of seeing other people lose so much around you and you being the lucky one.
So in closing, my question has been answered. Institutions like Grand Performances have to adapt and overcome, and that's what they've been doing, providing support to those in need, not just Grand Performances, but the Dodger Foundation and all the wonderful institutions that came together to make Camp Care not a distraction, but rather a place of support, of wellness and healing, And I'd like to leave you with this great insight from Cameron Brown. My name is Anthony Valadez. Take care and be safe. Peace.
Gosh, I don't know that we need each other, that the community is more than just a collection of buildings. This is what I keep telling myself. The building is gone, but the people are here. The community is here. The support, the love, it's all here. So we're very grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you've enjoyed that episode, made possible with support from listeners like you. For more information on becoming a GP member, donating, and attending our 40th season of free summer concerts at California Plaza in downtown LA, make sure to visit us, grandperformances.org. And make sure to say hi. We'll save you a seat.